Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Supercharge Giving Tuesday with Mobile Fundraising and Communications. My name is Chris Bechtel. I will be your host today for this fantastic webinar. Thank you all for joining us, taking time out of your busy week. We've got some fantastic content, great speakers, all about Giving Tuesday. First up, a couple of housekeeping notes. We are recording this presentation, and we will be able to send you a copy of the presentation. If you'd like the copy, please do text GTW to 51555, and we'll make sure we get that straight to you within the next day or so. We've got a fantastic agenda today. We've got lessons from the first 4 years of the movement with Lindsay Newman. We've got Giving Tuesday, what it is and how it works with Jessica Schneider, Day of Giving Best Practices for Campaign Success with Beth Kanter, and a setup guide, a complete setup guide to help supercharge your Giving Tuesday with our own Jeremy Koenig. We've got some fantastic speakers, and I'm super happy for all of you joining us today. If any of you do have any audio issues during the webinar, you feel free to dial in by phone. You can switch to phone by choosing the More button in the upper right corner of the webinar platform, and then switch to phone. If you need that address again to get the webinar, you can text GTM to 51555. Also, we are going to have about 10 minutes of Q&A at the end of the webinar. So do please feel free to type any questions that you have as you're listening to the webinar into the chat. We'll be sure to capture those and get to as many questions as we can. So now moving right along, we've got some, again, terrific speakers. And I would want to move quickly because we've got so much amazing content. I want to introduce our first speaker, my colleague Lindsay Newman, who's a senior copywriter and social media expert here at MobileCause, who's going to talk to us about lessons from the first 4 years of the movement. Welcome, Lindsay. Thanks for joining.
Hi, Chris. Thank you. All right, welcome everyone to our webinar. So for those of you that don't know, Giving Tuesday has been around since 2012. So we are 4 years into it at this point. And I just want to share a few things with you guys to give you a little bit of perspective on the movement and where it's at currently. So the first thing is that Giving Tuesday is a uniquely mobile experience. The movement has its roots in social media, and today about 80% of all social media time happens on a mobile device. So this is a huge piece of insight for your organization. Not only do you need to make it possible to like, share, and promote your Giving Tuesday campaign across channels, but it's also really important to make it easy and convenient for your supporters to give right on their mobile device. So that means as soon as someone hears or sees your Giving Tuesday campaign, there should be a link that allows them to take action right then and there. No waiting, no having to do it later once they're on a computer, but really making it easy to give right on their phone. The next thing is that it's all about new donor acquisition. So the beauty of Giving Tuesday is that it really is a movement. We have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then Giving Tuesday follows, which means you're tacking on to the momentum of the start of the giving season. The best part about this is that you're able to reach and get donations from donors who are new to your cause. So these people may not have given to charity in the past, or maybe they're just new to the organization itself, but either way, they're a new donor, which makes this a huge opportunity for your nonprofit to set goals around how many new donors you'd like to get, as well as how much social engagement you'd like to see throughout the duration of your Giving Tuesday campaign. Like we said on the last slide, it really is a mobile experience. Not only are you engaging people and furthering your reach on social media, but you're reaping the rewards in terms of new donor acquisition as well, which I'm sure is something that all of you could definitely use and look forward to. The third thing is that Giving Tuesday really inspires millennials. So millennials are donors under the age of 35. We usually categorize them as 18 to 35. And they prefer to give to nonprofits in a way that is a little bit different from other generations. So they tend to support causes that their friends are supporting, as well as those that they find out about online and on social media. This generation is also known as the smartphone generation. So it should come as no surprise then that these people are at the core of the movement. So from there, once they find out about, a cause that they want to support or get involved with, they usually spread the word on their own social pages, turning the whole experience into what we call a viral way of giving. Additionally, it's important to note that many millennials don't just want to give you money. They really want to get involved. So whether this is volunteering or spreading the word about your campaign or becoming a social ambassador for your cause, should really focus on making it easy for them to get involved during this unique day of giving. Oftentimes, this results in someone becoming even more involved with your cause later on, so it's really a win-win, both now for your Giving Tuesday campaign as well as in the future. That's it for me. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Lindsay. Terrific. Next up, I'd love to introduce the Director of Strategy and Collaboration for the Center of Innovation at the 92nd Street Y. 92nd Street Y is a world-class cultural and community center dedicated to enriching the lives of people all over the world by connecting them through culture, arts, entertainment, and conversation. Welcome, Jessica. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, and hello, everyone. Thank you to MobileCause for inviting me to participate in the webinar today. I'm Jessica Schneider from the 92nd Street Y, home of Giving Tuesday. The 92nd Street Y is a 143-year-old community and cultural center. We're on the Upper East Side in New York City. I'm in our Belfer Center for Innovation, and our center is charged with taking the organization's mission and expanding it beyond the walls of our building. We run a number of different digital initiatives and global programs. We launched Giving Tuesday in 2012 and continue to act as the home and stewards of the movement. This year, Giving Tuesday takes place on November 29th. As always, it's the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And over the next 10 minutes or so, I'm just going to give you an overview of the movement and share some successes. So first off, what is Giving Tuesday? Simply put, it is a day of fueled by the power of social media and collaboration, as well as a kickoff to the end of the year charitable season. It's a unifying moment for tens of thousands of organizations and companies and provides them with the opportunity to think creatively about how to engage their networks around giving. Partners plan a campaign that makes sense to them. There is no right or wrong way to participate. MobileCause has been very involved with Giving Tuesday for several years, as their work is very much aligned with the ethos and the spirit of the movement. A lot of nonprofits use Giving Tuesday as a time to go all in on online or mobile campaigns, either to engage their existing donor base or try to reach new donors. And of course, it's an area that MobileCause knows well and has already spoken to and will speak to more later in the webinar. So here are some high-level numbers for Giving Tuesday 2015. The $16.17 million raised in the middle, in that graphic on the left, is just looking at online giving in the 24 hours of Giving Tuesday. It doesn't include offline gifts or Giving Tuesday campaigns that were longer than just one day. So this number is definitely not reflective of all Giving Tuesday donations. You can also see there our social media reach. Giving Tuesday always trends, and we typically see a halo effect on the days before and after. The chart in the middle just, again, is only looking at online growth, but you can see how exponential the growth has been since year one. And on the far right, Giving Tuesday is not just in the U.S. We're an international movement. This map reflects the 71 activations we saw globally last year. Social media is global. The internet is global. Online donations can come from anywhere. With that in mind, I urge you to think about how you can create a campaign that crosses borders. And I also want you to think about how you can engage employees in other countries, if you have them, around Giving Tuesday. I want to highlight some campaigns that had a very far reach in 2015. MobileCause came up with that on the bandwagon headline, but I think it's very apt. Google has done a number of campaigns over the years. In 2015, they added that I'm Feeling Generous search. They also linked to a Donors Choose match they were funding. Facebook added that graphic on the right to users' news feeds. So most of your organizations will be prepping your networks in the weeks leading up to Giving Tuesday, getting them excited about your campaign, maybe even launching something in advance of November 29th. But also keep in mind that there are people who don't maybe think of themselves as part of the philanthropic world. They wake up, they go online on Giving Tuesday, and they see all this activity, and they immediately know that it's a day about giving, which is why it's a day a lot of organizations think strategically about how to build on the momentum of the day to engage new donors. And I want to share just a couple of examples of campaigns last year. World Bicycle Relief organized a fundraising campaign to raise funds to buy bikes for students in Africa. They created fun, goal-focused graphics and social media toolkits to spread the word about their campaign. They also employed a match to really drum up excitement and create some urgency around donating on that day. Matches do very well on Giving Tuesday, so it's a great time to get a corporate partner or a board member excited about a match, especially if you are using the day to experiment with a new type of fundraising like mobile or as a time to reach new donors. For World Bicycle Relief, they publicly stated an 800 bike goal, and they ended up raising enough for 1,100 bikes. And I also want to mention that not all Giving Tuesday campaigns are completely centered around donations in dollars. The two organizations on the right are successful non-monetary Giving Tuesday activations. There are so many ways to give. People give their time, their voice. In the case of Organize, they give their organs. So Organize is an online organ donation platform, organ donor platform, and they put a new twist on Giving Tuesday by asking people to give with your heart by registering as organ donors online. They organize Twitter chats, graphics, materials to educate and encourage organ donation, and by Giving Tuesday, they earned more than 40 million impressions and registered thousands of Americans, making it by far the largest digital donor drive in U.S. history. As Lindsay mentioned earlier, it is so true with online and mobile. Think about ways to spur advocacy and volunteerism as well. You can incorporate those into fundraising campaigns. It's a great way to create deeper engagement, particularly with millennials who are maybe not as comfortable just doing a straight donation. We really encourage ownership and creativity around Giving Tuesday. We love to see organizations and companies take the logo, make it theirs, and really own a piece of the movement. For example, on the left, you can see Giving Blue Day, which has become extremely successful for the University of Michigan system, and every year they bring together all their schools under one umbrella. We also really encourage collaboration. In 2015, there was Giving Zoo Day, which united zoos across the country who might otherwise have seen themselves competing for the same dollar. They use Giving Tuesday collectively to tell a larger story about wildlife conservation and zoos and bring attention to their cause. And on the right, you can see some city and state campaigns. We've really seen this feeling of ownership and collaboration taken to a new level around local campaigns. Organizations in over 70 states and cities have come together on Giving Tuesday to shine a light on giving in their communities and build something that's really greater than the sum of its parts. You can see a map of all the civic campaigns on our website. We're happy to connect you with leaders in a specific community. Or if there isn't a civic campaign in your city or state, you can step up and be that force. We're happy to help you with that. So Giving Tuesday is really a celebration of giving. We encourage individuals to reflect on why they give and share those reasons with their friends and family. A very simple way to do this is through the unselfie. The idea is very straightforward. It turns the traditional unselfie on its head by getting people to share what organization they support or why they support a specific cause, and then share that on social media. Mobile phones allow us to participate and tell our stories from anywhere. This is a great way to spread the spirit of Giving Tuesday. And with mobile giving, there really is an opportunity for someone to feel moved and then immediately make a donation. The civic cry for Giving Tuesday around the country has swelled up to the national level. It's just fun from last year. President Obama posted that on the Facebook White House page, and Congress passed a bipartisan resolution in support of Giving Tuesday. Just a couple of final points. Giving Tuesday is a great time to call upon celebrities and other amplifiers in your network. The more they're willing to do, the better. But even just a video, a photo, a selfie, a tweet can have a huge reach and shed light on your organization. Lastly, beyond just social media, there's also traditional media. The earlier you plan your campaign, the more time you have to pitch your stories to the press. And let us here at Giving Tuesday Central know. We want to help tell your story as well. We put together press releases throughout the fall and are always looking for interesting campaigns and partners to feature. Additionally, press often comes to us when they're pursuing specific angles, and we can only point them in your direction if we know what you're doing. We also have a blog and are always exploring new ways to help share cool partner stories or help partners tell their own stories. So when you are ready to make it official, all you have to do is go to our website and sign up to be a partner this year. Click Join Now. That will take you to that sign-up form. If you know your campaign now, that's great. If not, add your information. You can follow up with us when your plans come together in the fall. And you can see my contact information there. You're welcome to reach out to me directly, and either myself or a colleague will get back to you. So I hope this has been a helpful overview of Giving Tuesday. Thank you for listening. And with that, I will turn it back over to Chris.
Thank you so much, Jessica. So again, everyone, I would strongly encourage you to take a look at all of the resources. Lindsay and marketing team at MobileCause have been posting some links in the chat. If you are just dialed in by phone and do want to get the presentation, again, you can text GTW, that's Giving Tuesday webinar, GTW, to 51555, and we'll send it directly to your mobile phone. So in case you're not on the actual webinar, you can get the presentation direct to your phone. So now, again, please do, and if you do have questions, please continue to submit them. So thank you all who are doing so. We'll get to as many of them as we can shortly. Next up, I'd like to introduce Beth Kanter, who is the author of Beth's blog, How Nonprofits Can Use Social Media, one of the longest running and most popular blogs for nonprofits. Beth has over 30 years in the nonprofit sector working in technology, training, capacity building, evaluation, fundraising, and marketing. She authored the books The Networked Nonprofit and Measuring the Networked Nonprofit. Both books have reached #1 on the list of nonprofit books on Amazon and are used in college courses around the world. So thanks for being with us here today, Beth. Let's dive right in. What do you see as sort of some of the common myths or challenges surrounding Giving Tuesday?
Well, you know, I was one of the first people on the Giving Tuesday bandwagon a couple of years ago. I heard about it from Henry Timms. When they first cooked it up, I think, it was announced at a conference at Stanford, I think in 2012, and I thought it was just a brilliant idea to have everybody talking about, you know, having a national day or international day of giving, like right after Thanksgiving, like, what, you know, we eat, then everyone goes out shopping. Why not have a day of, you know, giving back and promoting this whole idea of giving to nonprofits? So immediately jumped on the bandwagon, and I was actually a little bit taken aback in the beginning because there was, you know, people weren't quite sure why they should do this. There wasn't, why should we do this? Is it really going to help our individual organization if we contribute to something that's a greater whole? So some of the early kinds of misperceptions I heard were, you know, I've already planned my annual campaign, and I'm too busy with that right now to even think about doing something new or different like this Giving Tuesday thing, and I'm not even sure what this is. The other is the second year, third year, we started to hear, the second year mostly we heard, oh, there's too much noise. Everybody's using the same idea and pitch, and people are just going to have so many solicitations in their email boxes that they're not going to pay attention to us. Well, that's really interesting because I don't think it's true, because maybe the people who tend to give more will get that, but the idea was to raise awareness about giving to people who don't typically give. And finally, there was this sort of, I guess, a perception around, gee, I absolutely must connect it to a call to action where I'm asking people to give to me, which isn't true, because a lot of organizations have been really creative with their Giving Tuesday campaigns, making it about maybe donor stewardship or just even raising awareness for their cause, not necessarily having it be a solicitation.
And so then, I guess, why do you think then that, you know, one-day campaigns like Giving Tuesday are then maybe a great opportunity for trying these new things?
Because they're short, they're rapid. You can, if you think about it as a build, measure, learn cycle, it helps your organization be more agile. You can collect some information and some data points and figure out what worked, what didn't work. It isn't a huge investment necessarily, and it can only help you improve what you're doing.
And so sort of, you kind of touched on sort of that your testing process. Maybe you could talk to us a little bit about sort of why it's important to test and some sort of, testing basics.
Okay, so I'm like, always be testing, always be iterating, because I think what happens is that we tend in the nonprofit sector to want everything to be perfect without going through a process of improvement, and I think that's unrealistic. So we have to stop being perfectionists and develop things and put them out there a little bit faster. We have to learn the art of satisficing. And we also have to learn about, given the complexity and of communications these days and the world that we're living in, we don't have all the answers. And so it's really important for us to really learn and have like a culture of continuous improvement where we are continually setting some goals, identifying the most important metrics, figuring out whether, what worked, what didn't work, and iterating again. In terms of best practices, I mean, a simple best practice, and I'm sure many of the audience on the call may already be doing this, but it's called A/B testing. And this may be where you're going to test a different message. If it's email, you might be testing a different subject line. And so instead of sending it out to your entire list, you take 2 small samples, maybe 100 each, and you test 2 different subject lines or 2 different text messages. You see which one got the better click-through rate or the better conversion rate, and then you use that one to send it out to your whole list.
And so what do you see, like, diving into this just a little bit, like what do you see are sort of the two, maybe of the most common sort of misuse of testing or the common testing blunder?
Oh, the common testing blunder is trying to test too much. In fact, I taught a lot of workshops and also peer learning where we were teaching people to test. So a couple blunders. One is you really should only change one variable. So it's the subject line you're going to test, and you keep everything else the same. But a blunder is where we try too many different variables. We're not only going to test the subject line, but we're going to actually test the message as well, or the colors. We're going to change too many things. So you want to keep your test simple and have one variable that you're changing. The other blunder that I see a lot is, and I've worked with a lot of organizations on this, is that they try to make it the perfect scientific test, and they make it way too complicated. So I think A/B testing and this kind of approach takes a little bit of simplicity. Not simplistically, the tests aren't simplistic, but don't overcomplicate it. If you ask me, what is the secret sauce of a crowdfunding campaign or a fundraising campaign that's online and uses social and maybe mobile, and I can say that the secret sauce is using social media ambassadors. It's the secret to success for many local nonprofits, especially smaller, mid-sized nonprofits. And what I mean by social media ambassadors, when we think about brand ambassadors, that's kind of marketing jargon for a celebrity endorser. So think Michael Jordan and you think sneakers, if you will. But today, the definition has really expanded that anybody and their network online can be a social media ambassador for your cause. And so what you're doing is taking this networked approach, because as you begin to identify and recruit social media ambassadors, they're going to have networks of people that may not already be on your organization's radar, and they're going to promote your cause to their network. And what's really important about that too is that their networks know them, and they'll trust them. People tend to trust people more than brands, and plus they're also doing the work for you. So it's saving you some time and saving you some money, as well as helping you expand your reach and reach out to new people. Now, a lot of nonprofits ask, well, how do I find social media ambassadors, and what's the process like? And my first answer sometimes is, well, it takes a little bit of desk research, and usually I hear a lot of groans, and I understand that because research is especially something like this can be unbounded, take a lot of time. It can feel overwhelming, but I would urge you to not think of it that way. It's also something that you can have an intern do, for example. So the desk research that you want to start with is looking at through your social channels, seeing who is really engaging with you and trying to, check them out, see who they are. It's a little bit like doing old-fashioned donor research. And of course, there's some tools out there that can help you go through your followers and help you and automate that process a bit. Like, for example, Social Rank can help you identify Twitter followers and Instagram followers that are engaging with you, because those are your best bets and best prospects initially for your social media ambassadors. Another thing to do is to look in your own donor database. You may be able to find some people and then check out their do some research on their social presence. Do they have a big network? Is it an engaged network? Do they have credibility? Another way to get social media ambassadors is actually to recruit them through social media channels. A lot of organizations do this. They put up a landing page with the information about, join us for our Giving Tuesday campaign, become a social media ambassador, and they have them sign up. And some organizations can do like all three. So once you've done your research and you still have enough time before Giving Tuesday to do it, the next step is then start recruiting them. And this is all about relationship building. You want to reach out to them. You want to thank them for their past support. You want to tell them what you have in mind for your Giving Tuesday campaign. You also want to have developed collateral materials so they can easily tap into their networks and discuss and share information about your Giving Tuesday campaign. And you also want to set up a way to easily communicate with them. It's helpful to do that online. A lot of organizations will set up a private Facebook group so they can sort of feed these social media ambassadors information about the campaign. That kind of coordination, and it doesn't have to be heavy duty or a lot of time, it's really more like a cheerleading function and coordination. You're feeding your social media ambassadors a steady diet about like what's going on with the campaign, if you got matching grants, if there's some new materials that you want to share with them. And then finally, kind of like escalate and go and set them loose, if you will. And then at the end, thank them and acknowledge them. Some organizations actually put their names and photographs and a big thank you note on their websites. Now, that is mostly people who are external to your organization, potential, stakeholders. But you can also have people on staff and your board serve as social media ambassadors as well. Of course, you need to have a social media policy that encourages personal use of social media, and you may need to do a little bit of training. But who else can be a better advocate or social media ambassador for your organization than your own board? Certainly, they know about your organization, they love your organization, and they probably have networks of people that are already predisposed to like your organization. So that was a long-winded way of saying use social media ambassadors, and that'll be the secret to your success in a Giving Tuesday campaign.
Fantastic. This is great insight for everyone. And now sort of just to wrap it up and probably reiterate some of the things you've already provided to us, but what would you say are sort of your top 3 tips for Giving Tuesday success?
Okay, so in addition to champions, which I just discussed in depth, I would say don't start planning your Giving Tuesday on the Monday before Giving Tuesday. You want to start planning early. And that's one thing that also Giving Day campaigns have found and that they focus on is preparing their nonprofits. You need at least 6 weeks, if not a little bit longer, to adequately plan your campaign, and especially if you want to integrate it into your year-end fundraising successfully. The other thing, and I touched on this a little bit before, is this, making sure that you have some measurable goals. And with anything, we know, of course, fundraising campaigns are going to be about dollars and donors, but it's also an important metric is also engagement. And I know it's a really busy time of the year, year-end giving. I know everyone gets exhausted by the end of the year. It's our big season, but do set aside some time, even if it creeps into the beginning of January, to do kind of an after-action review of your Giving Tuesday campaign, as well as all of your annual giving, and figure out like what worked really well, what didn't go so well, and what would you do differently What would you do differently next year? Now, it's really easy in the heat of the moment of your campaign to just get into execution. And so what a really cool technique that a lot of Giving Day hosts have used is that they keep like these journals or notebooks, and they just jot down things as the one-day campaign is going. And then when they're ready, they'll do an after-action review, and they'll have those notes, and it'll be fresh in their minds. And they actually will write down what it is that they might do differently. So when it's time to plan the campaign again the following year, they're not starting from scratch, and they're starting from their experience.
Fantastic. And I think that dovetails into what you really talked about before about always be improving, always be iterating, right? Always be in the state of continuous improvement. Is that right?
Yes, really important.
So do you have any final, sort of thoughts, what final recommendation to leave everyone with today?
Be excited. This is, the incredible excitement around Giving Tuesday, and the thing that I got so excited about back in 2012 when I heard about it is that you're joining something that's bigger than just your organization, and it really has the chance to push the needle and raise awareness around the importance of giving back and making charitable donations and encouraging more people to donate. So not only are you helping your own organization, leverage this great, leverage this year in giving, but you're helping the whole field.
I would like to mention for everyone in attendance, Beth has a new book coming out on September 24th called The Happy, Healthy Nonprofit, Strategies for Impact Without Burnout. The book shares why, what, and how your nonprofit can tie personal well-being to your passion for your organization's mission in order to help your nonprofit sustain impact with tips and tricks for nonprofit leaders, as well as the latest thinking about self-care and well-being in the workplace. So you can pre-order Beth's book now by going to bit.ly, that's bit.ly/happyhealthynpbook. So you can see the link there on the screen. So you can go to bit.ly, bit.ly/happyhealthynpbook. The book is out on September 24th, so I'd encourage all of you to go ahead and pre-order that. So please do, and please stay tuned. We will be sending out the links to all of this great content today. Now I'm going to toss it back to my colleague, Jeremy.
Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to, the step-by-step instructions for setting up your Giving Tuesday to absolutely supercharge your campaign. I created this first slide because it's very important that you nail your call to action. One of the things that we've seen over the last year is that organizations that have a clear and concise call to action across channels have far better fundraising results. And so I put this up here so that with Darrow School, one of our favorite customers, as an example, where here you notice that their keyword and their organization website is promoted. So, for example, if I'm standing up in front of TV, if I'm on social media, if I'm on the radio, if I'm recording a video, if I'm putting a picture on Instagram, any person can see the call to action, text keyword to a short code, or go to a website to give. It is that simple. It is a truth that texting a keyword is the absolute easiest way for people to respond to make a donation in a photo, video, or live event. And it is absolutely a truth that the easiest way for people to respond to a post, an email, or text is just to click a link. And again, we found that donors, for whatever reason, they have the most confidence in your organization when they actually go to your homepage and they click the donate button in the corner. Just to highlight this, to collect maximum donations, our recommendation is essentially a twofold strategy. And I created this diagram to really drive home the principle that you want to instill donor confidence, and you want to make it as easy as possible for people to give. And so, for example, when somebody texts your keyword, in this case Darrow, the link that they receive back in the text message reply, it goes to the same page as if they were to go to your website and click the donate button, which would then either load a page with an embedded donation form, your donation form embedded, or to its own standalone secure page. One of the reasons why this is so important is because it allows you to measure exactly how much is received from the campaign. No matter how you present your donation page, people are always going to go to your website and click the donate button, and this allows you to have exact numbers of how much has been raised. Another thing that we highly recommend, especially for Giving Tuesday, is linking your Giving Tuesday page to your Facebook donate button. If you haven't already set it up, all nonprofits can create a donate button right on their Facebook page that when people click, it actually loads, it can load the same donation page. Also, in the side menu, they have the opportunity for you to put a donate link in the menu, which can link to actually an embed your same donation page embedded right on your Facebook. Another little tip that's not visually displayed here is Instagram allows you to have a single link in your bio, and we recommend for fundraising campaigns that you actually change that link, which they call the web URL, to your donation page link. All right, really important, really cool. Synchronize all of your fundraising channels. Use Giving Tuesday specifically as an example to strengthen traditional channels with digital fundraising solutions. So here you can see I've mocked up a direct mail campaign. If you're like many nonprofits, direct mail has been a part of your fundraising strategy for decades. And we continue to find that more and more people want to go online and give in response to direct mail. And so notice your call to action is the same. A little additional tip: QR codes that are printed on your collateral also can go to the same Giving Tuesday page. Notice you'll see a corresponding email here. It's really important that you make sure that your emails are mobile friendly, because more than half of emails are read on a mobile device. And the correct call to action for maximum clicks and donations is actually a donate button, which again goes directly to your Giving Tuesday donation page. Then you have your social media posts. And again, all four of these examples here are meant to work together. And notice I use the exact same call to action. Your social media posts. It's really important that in your text, you include the keyword, the text to give keyword instructions, as well as the link to give. And then in your image and or videos that you post, you include clear calls to action. The reason why this is important because specifically Instagram, Facebook Live, and anywhere else where it's just people are only viewing a video or a image, they have to know how to give to your organization. Text messaging, it's really important. So we've talked about direct mail, email, social media, and now text messaging. We here at MobileCause strongly recommend that all nonprofits send text message reminders to donors. A well-timed text message can have a huge impact on how many people respond to your campaign, as 90% of messages are read in 3 minutes. Incredible. If you don't know, nonprofits have a special permission to upload their entire donor database and validate how many mobile numbers they have and collect donations. In the example here on screen, I say support Darrow School on Giving Tuesday. Reply Darrow or click here to give. This is a common practice, and it's amazing that about half the people will reply Darrow and about half the people will click that link. And again, all it does is it loads your donation page. And what you're effectively doing by synchronizing all of your communications in your fundraising channels is you are getting in front of the most eyeballs, and you're reinforcing your campaign the most amount of time in a way that is dynamic and according to the preferences of your donors. All right, this is an extra feature that we highly recommend that you guys all implement for Giving Tuesday. Show real-time results and automatically email tax receipts. One of the functions that MobileCause has is that when someone completes a donation, you can actually display the donation amount and the donor name live on a thermometer. What Darrow School did last year is they actually shared the fundraising thermometer link throughout the campaign to show progress. And here you can see they had a goal of $25,000 and they raised north of $50,000. Incredible. This also can be displayed in your office. This can be put on a projector. It's essentially a web link that can be linked from anywhere and viewed on any device. Tax receipts are a big deal because they actually save your organization a ton of time. When you capture data, specifically contact information, financial information, whatever custom questions you have, that information will appear in real time inside of your MobileCause account that you can push to any CRM as you manage your donor database. But in terms of the receipt, it's really important that these people are immediately receiving a confirmation that their donation to Giving Tuesday was received. And notice here in the example that I mocked up, it says, "Thanks for your donation to Darrow School. Click here to check out the results of the campaign." And then in this case, if they were to click that link, it would load the fundraising thermometer. All right. I do not want you guys to forget that it is absolutely all about ambassadors. Every supporter that you have should be empowered to promote your nonprofit. This is the absolute paramount, most important part of Giving Tuesday. The more you provide your ambassadors with training, content to share, encouragement, and support leading up to Giving Tuesday, on the day of Giving Tuesday and after Giving Tuesday, the more your Day of Giving campaign will be a success, and the more you're going to be able to grow and strengthen your nonprofit in front of a local, a state, and a worldwide level. With that, I'm going to turn it back over to Chris.
Thank you, Jeremy. We do have a few more minutes. We will get to some more questions shortly because all of you have submitted some more questions, so thank you. Before we do jump into the Q&A, I just wanted to let you all know that MobileCause is partnering with Giving Tuesday to help supercharge your organization's year-end fundraising when you incorporate our powerful fundraising and communications solutions. New customers who sign up with MobileCause before the end of this month will receive a free Giving Tuesday donation page and complete Giving Tuesday strategy plan. Plus, you can call us to find out about special incentives for credit card processing fees. I've seen a few questions about that. If you're already a MobileCause customer, simply give your customer success rep a call today for special Giving Tuesday planning, resources, expert strategy, and support to ensure your organization's fundraising success on November 29th and beyond. Remember, this is a limited time offer, so do please call us today. We have an amazing set of resources to help you succeed on Giving Tuesday. You can call us at 888-661-8804 or go to mobilecause.com/demo. So please reach out to us if you have any questions that we're not able to answer today and to take advantage of this opportunity. So now let's dive back into a couple of questions. We just have a few more minutes here. So back to you, Jessica. I saw a question about, and this has probably come up a couple of times that you've seen before in the sense of, someone asked whether or not, you recommend sort of the single day Giving Tuesday campaign versus some people using Giving Tuesday as a launch, into their year-end giving campaign. What are your thoughts around that sort of pros and cons? Any insight around that?
Sure. That's a great question. It's something that people bring up a lot. A lot of nonprofits already have end-of-the-year campaigns in the works. And I will start off by saying, based on all the data we've seen, a Giving Tuesday campaign does not take away from end-of-the-year giving. This is bringing in either new donors or donors participating twice, which is very exciting to see. Again, this is based on the data that we've been shared on, and but that's our understanding. So you shouldn't be worried about taking part in Giving Tuesday and how it might affect other giving down the road. In terms of launching something on Giving Tuesday and having it be just one day, having it launch and go through the end of the year, having something start earlier in the fall and have Giving Tuesday as a punctuation or something ending on Giving Tuesday, this is a non-answer, but it really is whatever is best for your organization. Maybe your first year Giving Tuesday is part of something larger, and as you build momentum, you think about doing something just on that day. It's really whatever is best for you.
Fantastic. And now here's a sort of more tactical question, or at least a resourcing question. What are your suggestions for the director of social media in terms of time management and, who are the right people to sort of staff that role? Any thoughts around that?
Sure. So I would recommend definitely going to our website. We have so many plug-and-play tools, which you can use, which you can share with other members on your team. When we talked a lot about ambassadors before and how you can put them to work, I really recommend putting together something very basic for donors that allow them to help tell the story of your organization. Having sample tweets for them, a very direct ask. On Giving Tuesday, before noon, please send one of these 5 tweets, something as straightforward like that. The great thing with social media is you can get so many people involved that are in your network, and not just social media ambassadors, but staff, maybe even people who aren't on the social media team. It's an easy way for them to get involved. So be strategic and smart about it, but I would say, taking the time to plan it out and then in the moment just really having it be as plug and play as possible.
Fantastic. And Jeremy, here's a couple of sort of questions for you. First off, in terms of the data that you've seen across the platform, are there certain times of day in which to send out text messages, communications, that type of thing that you've found are extremely successful? How do you plan out the communications, either before or day of for Giving Tuesday to get maximum impact?
Yeah, definitely. As a general rule of thumb or benchmark, it's absolutely best to coordinate your different communications. So specifically the ones that I talked about, social media, text messaging, and email. I tend to default to sending email early in the morning. So, depending on your time zone, around 8 a.m. is great. It shows up right at the top of inboxes. And then send text messages. The highest performance that we see is right about 10 o'clock in the morning. People tend to be at work, tend to be at school. They tend to be not as distracted. And when they see their phone, the text message reinforces the email that you just sent. And then in terms of social media, you want to post as often as you have something compelling to share. And so if you have videos, photos, testimonies, whatever, you want to post those as often as you have something to share, and you literally cannot post too much on Giving Tuesday. I cannot reiterate enough what Jessica said and what Beth spoke to, and that it is all about empowering ambassadors. With MobileCause, we can help you get your tools set up so that it's easy for anyone to give across any channel, but at the end of the day, it has to do with how many social media ambassadors do you have and how passionate are they about going out and driving donations and support for your cause.
Terrific.
This is Jessica. I'm just going to jump in. I've seen a couple of questions in the chat, so I will answer a couple of those. Someone asked about higher ed. Please reach out to me directly at jschneider@92y.org. We have someone on our staff that specializes just with working in that community, can share a lot of the best practices, can offer support, talk to you about how to work collaboratively across schools. So one question. Another person asked about logos. You go to our website, there's a link that says logos. Take them, do with them what you want. No royalties. Put it on a mug. Change the colors to match your organization. We very much support doing that. Someone else asked if you need to be signed up to be considered an official partner. You do. That said, if for whatever reason you don't feel comfortable signing up, you're welcome to just go ahead and run the campaign on your own. By signing up, you'll be on our email list. You'll find out about things like additional webinars, new resources that become available, and also because people often come to us asking if there are campaigns taking place in their city, and if you are signed up, we can point them in your direction. So that's just a few of the questions I've seen, but I'll keep looking and I'll chime in the comments with some more answers.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Yeah, so I saw someone had a question. If they've signed up in the past, do they need to sign up again? You do not need to sign up again. I would encourage you, I know I left my personal email address, so you can reach out to me or just info@givingtuesday.org and let us know what your campaign is for this year. We just love to keep track of those as much as possible, again, just to know some great stories of what's happening, but no need to sign up a second year. There's also added to our website, our new website, which just launched, a What's Happening Near Me map, where you can search for your organization to see if you're already up there. It's a new feature. There's still some bugs, so if you go on and you can't find your organization, you think you've signed up in the past, reach out to me and I can get that sorted out for you.
Great. I noticed a question about specifically text messaging, and whomever asked the question, it's a good question about Giving Tuesday is about reaching donors. It absolutely is, but often nonprofits have huge databases of ex-volunteers, supporters, donors, and Giving Tuesday is a way to engage people who are in your database who maybe have never donated before, who may have been involved in years past, maybe alumni. And again, the whole idea is that you would communicate with people according to their preferences. Generically, baby boomers prefer to receive emails and text. Generation X prefers to receive an email, text, and social media. And millennials prefer to receive a text and see your social media posts on their feed. And then, of course, you have your longest your most lifetime donors that receive your direct mail, and you want to give them an opportunity as well to participate in your Giving Tuesday campaign. Question here about keywords. Keywords are really cool in that they essentially all you're doing is you're triggering an automatic text message reply, and you can put whatever link you want and language you want in that message. We have different types of short codes that trigger different behaviors, but generically you want to choose a keyword that is very hard to misspell and easy to type. And the reason why we always display them as capitals is because when you type capitals into a smartphone, it actually disables autocorrect. So in this case, we would tell people to text GTW to 51555, and then if you'll get the text message reply right back with the link to this presentation in this case. There's a question here about automatic receipts. It's really easy inside of MobileCause. Every keyword that you set up, you can actually configure a tax receipt. You can put your language right at the top of the receipt, and then your logo will automatically appear at the top of the email. You also can control the subject line and who the contact person is and who the email is that sent the message.
And thanks, everyone. We have hit the top of the hour. If you do have additional questions, again, I would encourage all of you to reach out to our team at MobileCause. Every customer, every client that we work with gets a dedicated customer success manager. The team is fantastic. You get direct insight on how to succeed with all of the specific questions that you have. So again, I'd encourage everyone to reach out and take advantage of the Giving Tuesday donation page and complete Giving Tuesday strategy plan that's available. Again, you can get that by calling us at 1-888-661-8804 or registering at mobilecause.com/demo. There is also a whole set of resources available to all of you. So again, visit www.givingtuesday.org and click on Global Campaigns. So thanks to everyone for joining us today. Thanks to Jessica. Thanks to Beth. Thanks to Jeremy and Lindsay for all of their insights. And please stay tuned for our next upcoming webinar next month. We look forward to having all of you again. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a great day,
Thank you.
everybody.